Beep, beep, good morning, people. Hello. We have an article here posted by MSN, but actually from The Independent. So MSN's a news aggregator. So let's have a look at this. After, subscribe, share this, please. That's the most important thing. Apparently, I need more subscribers. I've got to get this bigger to keep it going. So I need more subscribers. Share it from YouTube onto Twitter, if you would, or Facebook, or whatever, funny thing you're currently using. So The Independent, who are insane, by the way, right? Okay, there's The Independent, and it's like the real dopey end of left. You didn't leave the left left you. I have to keep saying this, right? When I'm talking about left, I mean the nutters, okay? You're now sort of there. Every left person in the country right now is a centrist. Look up the Overton window, right? Every left person in this country right now is a centrist, even the Marxist ones, right? The nutters are over there in the corner playing with themselves. So, here we go. Rainbow activists in brackets. It's wonderful because they're the opposite. They think the opposite. They think the opposition for a start. They think the opposite of what we do. So, rainbow activists in bracket showing children graphic in bracket material, says Cambridge academic. Sex education classes have been outsourced to rainbow activists brackets who are showing children graphic material brackets. The organizer of a right-wing conference makes it sound like Goebbels is there. as if being right-wing's, something awful. Jesus, these people. James Orr opened the second day of the National Conservatism Conference in Westminster with a speech in which he described the intact family as the best stable for forming flourishing, virtuous citizens. Right? Is there anybody right now who doesn't think that's true? It's a good idea if you have a mum and a dad. Is there anybody who doesn't think that's true? Right? Or it's a good idea if you have a recognised understanding that we now know that raising kids is optimally done by a mother and father. Biological mother and father. Now, before everybody goes, what about people who stop it? Okay? This is not saying that it's up there and we should all go, oh man. No, it's saying this is what the data says. Okay? Not me, the data. Get your head round it. Look at the data. Obviously, families are massively different, and there are differences with each family, and all the usual stuff. Yes, you're right. But as a mass understanding of where we are, the data is in. Right? The gay people used to moan about this years ago. Oh, the nuclear family, they didn't moan much, because they were getting what they wanted, and they were free to do what they wanted, and get married, and adopt, and, all those wonderful things. And I know gay men who are wonderful fathers. Right, and lesbians who are wonderful mothers. Nobody's saying that's not true, okay? The Independent are nuts. Nobody's saying that's not true, okay? What we're saying is that when you look at the data, the best indicator is likely to be mum and dad raising 2 kids. And yet they scream right wing. Well, gay people never said, we don't want you to have families. We don't want you, to have a normal idea of what a family is. We don't want you to have 2.2 kids and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We don't want you to... Gay men never said that. The TQs mind. The destruction of the nuclear family. Black Lives Matter said that, didn't they, on their website? The destruction of the nuclear family. That's what they're after, the destruction of the nuclear family. Why? Because it's successful. Because to them it's heteronormativity. And they want to destroy heteronormativity. So James Orr, saying at the National Conservative Conference that the intact family is the best stable for forming flourishing, virtuous citizens, which the Independent is upset about because they are the TQ+. He said it's why the family has always been the chief target of authoritarian regimes. It's why today, even here, children are exposed to norms and narratives imported from our cultural colonial overlords in the United States that are as poorly evidenced as they are politically partisan. Very true. Sex ed in this country has been outsourced to pretty radical rainbow activists who, when parents ask to see what their children are being taught, plead commercial confidentiality. He continues, As a number of MPs are now recognising and drawing attention to, sex ed in this country has been outsourced to pretty radical rainbow activists. It's a great line. Who, when parents ask to see what their children are being taught, plead commercial confidentiality, knowing that the material is almost certainly too graphic to print in a national newspaper. It is too graphic. We've seen meetings where people have got together to discuss sex education. People have brought up the subjects, and the people that run the meetings are saying, we can't discuss that here. I'm sorry, this is a public meeting. It's too much. So you can discuss it with 11-year-olds, but you can't talk about it in a public meeting with adults. Do you see what these people are yet? Toxic parents. Now, the issue of sex education has been raised in Parliament by Conservative MP Miriam Cates, who spoke at Miriam Cates. Every time I say Miriam's names, I remember that episode in The West Wing where they had to give this woman called Marion Coatsworth Hay a special award. And CJ likes saying Marion Coatsworth Hay. And when he met her, it was this little woman with a bun on her head, like everybody's granted. She stood up and she went, I'm Marion Coatsworth Hay! And I lost the plot completely. So every time I say Miriam Cates, I think of Marion Coatsworth Hay. I don't know why, because I'm stupid like that. Right, so Miriam brought it up, spoke at the National Conservative Conference on Monday, and Rishi has accelerated a government review into how the subject is taught in schools. A government review. Mr. Orr, an academic at the University of Cambridge Faculty of Divinity, added sexualised, misogynistic parodies of femininity are now routine in schools and public libraries in the form of drag queen story hour. Now, Mr. Orr here, who they've chosen to report on, because Mr. Orr is from the Faculty of Divinity, right? So they're trying to associate being right with religious convictions, when in fact the man's, probably just studies the idea or the concept of it and is interested in living by the way of it. That's a bad thing to the Independent, right? They're wrong about it being drag queen story hour. It's not drag queen story hour. That's what they call it. It's queer performative. I should have said that. I should have said answers in the bloody comments. I've said it so many times. Queer performativity. Just call it what it bloody is, right? Because they won't, and you know they won't, because they don't call things what they are. So we have to. Queer performativity. The cargo cult of transgenderism is triggering a social contagion that is inflicting irreversible physical harms on the young and the vulnerable, and it's corrupting the medical profession. I had dinner with a doctor friend who said to me, it's over everything. It's in everything. It's disrupting everything. It's destroying everything. It isn't going to be safe eventually, because it'll bring the medical profession to its knees. It's what this shit does. It brings critical race theory, all of it. It brings people to the knees. So Mr. Orr is the organiser of the National Conservatism Conference, which has brought conservative thinkers, politicians and journalists to Westminster. And has already heard speeches from senior Tories, including Suella Braverman and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Suella called out Keir Harmer, didn't she? Only women don't have penises, Keir. Come on! So Jacob Rees-Mogg, in his speech on Tuesday, he called conservatism based on freedom, constrained by commitment to religion, family and nation, adding that countries that honoured their majority religion often treated minority faiths better as well. So here we go, it's let's put everything else in. So what they've done is they posited in this article this problematic gender identity, which we know, and they're saying, well, it's only a problem for the right. It doesn't bother you good people there. No, it doesn't bother you, the good people of the left. The good people of the left. Boy, oh boy, there are many good people on the left. There are many people who are committed to the concept that we, as a country, have always magpied, right? We pick the best bits for our nest. We pick the best bits for our nest, right? So we pick bits of this and bits of that and bits, and we've done that with socialism. We pick the best of it. Healthcare. A safety net. The kind of thing that the old Marxists would have been screaming for in the 60s to get right, okay? That's my left. That's the left I understand. The one that is saying to the capitalists and the corporatists, hey, come on, that's enough. That's the left, right? What they're doing here is putting a false dichotomy between the right and the left, when in fact the issue is one of right and wrong, not left and right. Hope that's clear, because it's clear to me. It's not, is it? Right, keep trying. It's right or wrong, it's not left or right. They've then what they've done essentially is they've gone, oh my, oh gosh, the gender identity bus is coming to a crashing halt, right? Which it's going to, right? And then the Independent has done the old, oh me, oh my, here's what they're saying, these awful people on the right. So you good people on the left need to speak up because, oh my gosh, how sad and terrible it will be. And then they've gone, yeah, but look how even more extreme they can get, especially that Suella Braverman and that, old Rees Mogg. There's a cat online somewhere, right? In a top hat with a monocle. That's Rees Mogg to me. That's his spirit animal. You know, if this was his dark materials. Or his Patronus. Is that what they called it on Harry Potter? What would my Patronus be? There's the question for my Jesterites and for Twitter today. What would my Patronus be? You tell me. It's great sometimes to look at the extreme press like The Independent, which is essentially an ideological rag for these lunatics. I mean, I think it only gets worse when you head over into a different direction. But it's insane to me that we think that this is simply a matter of left or right politically. It's not. It's cultural and it's right or wrong. It is wrong to tell children they're born in the wrong body. It is wrong to tell people that everybody is racist. It is wrong to say that there is racism in every single conversation. It is wrong to say that the state should have their fingers so far up our arse that we can't get them out of our lives. We don't need any more toxic parents, folks. It's adults in the room we need. And The Independent certainly ain't that. Go on, have a great day. I'll see you later.